Now, this is what I like to see. Everybody come together. I take 5 minutes to see how everybody's talking and see what's everybody's doing. And, hey, how's it going? How's your light switch line centers? How's the communication force line positions? How's the finger point line conditions? What's going on with your calculation modification line centers? Oh, yeah, the chakra systems went out last night, right? Yeah. Communication to intelligence, high forces everything through direction. Once you guys go to higher channels, higher atmospheres, you communicate with higher formations of intelligence. Now, there's a lot of confusion that's going on right now. I'm going to straighten everything out of what's going on. Now, I go through it, you go through it. I go through it, you go through it. Everything I go through, you go through. Right? That's the whole idea of understanding. Unity of consciousness, togetherness, right? Clarification, anything in that connections, declassifying yourself to that position locations. Everybody's coming into infusion. Infusion. Okay? This is what's supposed to happen. It's all about you guys coming into your physical systems and into your spiritual systems into one. 2 into 1. That's all that's happening right now. It's confusing the anomaly. It's switching centers. It's connecting to your dualities, putting you back into communications to the male and the female into one system, guys. That's what's happening. Now, you guys probably feel it on an intimate level. You probably feel it on a creativity level. You probably feel it on a formation level. You probably feel it on a clocking level. You probably feel it on a dimensional level. You probably feel it on an entertainment level. That's all it is. Okay? So to make that easier for you is to understand that. Understand all position locations, especially when you're getting connected with your twin flame, right? It's truly understand the physical and the spiritual come into one. The cosmos and everything, the unity system. It's the unity consciousness of you. The first introduction is the physical system to the spiritual system to one. And it's going to confuse everybody. All right. So it's all about mutation. It's morphin time, transformers. All right. More than meets the eye. All right. Power Rangers, all connections. Try to understand that. There's I didn't really like it. It was more of a kids movie, but it was all based on, they were trying to find themselves. They couldn't figure out what they were. They couldn't understand their power. And, the dark centers came in and they started fighting them. And it says, hey, I can't morph in. What's going on here? What's happening with me, right? They already had it. They just didn't know it. It's all about memory coming back to you. So this is where it gets very confusing with your clocking system. Why do you think I keep telling you guys how important it is to understand your physical system and your dimensional system? The physical clock and the dimensional clock are coming into one. Transformation of communication of one channel line sound rotations. That's what's happening right now with the connections. It's going to confuse all the levels of your egos. You have to center your positions in the flowing recognition line center to connections of yin and yang before you come into the Vesica Pisces year. All right. So it's all about leaving the old cycles and coming into the new cycle. You guys already know that through position anyway, through that connections, right? So put yourself in the activation cycle to connections. It's the physical through the infusion of the spiritual. That's all it is. Whatever you're experiencing, that's exactly what it is. Okay? So now's the time to be careful on what you watch. Okay? Everything that you see has no connection to you at all. It's just entertainment. How many times I have to tell you guys? It's just entertainment. That's all it is. Okay? It's verbiage. It has nothing to do with you. You just focus on yourself. I know it's very hard to understand these things, but every time you channel off, you're communicating to something else that has no significance to you in any way and form. Okay? Any way and form has nothing to do with you. That's a distraction. But you guys aren't aware of that because now you're coming into infusion of the physical line to the spiritual line into one system. Okay? That's splitting your dualities and your dichotomies as of activation. Okay? So you have to be very cautious in what you're doing, what you say, what you hear, what you observe, what you do. Okay? That's all that is. Okay? So it's infusion integration. That's it. So if everybody's doing well, hopefully you're getting a better understanding when you go every single day and you get up in the morning, you know how to use your fingers try to understand how to use the circuitry lights, panel lights, anything through solar lights, graphing lights, communication lights, interference, like channel line connections, barriers, security line defense programs, all position of you through track steps and line connection. So it's amazing. When I talk, it's all flow, right? It's not like transformation. Wait, no, it's a communication cycle. No, wait, it's not the box center. No, I think it's times pi. No, wait, I can't remember now. No flow, no flow, no flow, no flow. So it's the grounds and the fires and the air and the water into one. Okay? And that's what's happening with your infusions. You start with your spiritual system, comes into the connection of the physical line center. The clocking system comes into one position line connections. And that's what we're coming into is the test review and evaluations because you guys are going high formation line center. So a lot of people don't realize you're infused with each other through positions. Remember how you guys were coming out of each and other bodies and they took your soul and put you in somebody else's body? That's all it is. And it feels weird, right? It's just energy transference. Okay. And this is the adaptation cycle where it's coming into the full system rotations to its conditions. All right. It's infusion integration. All right. So how's everybody doing so far? Let's see here. All right. Tina, Janet, Ellen. Tina, your whole family taken care of. Did through cycles, all rotations 6, all business locations times pi. All right. Everything's done. Okay, Tina? No worries. All right. Let's see. Jenna is going. Ellen, Cleopatra, Mander. All right, you guys are communicating. That's what I do every morning. See what you guys are doing through communications. All right. All right. Foggy here and power went out. Yeah. See, that's the thing when you come in that position. So when Tina comes to me, she says, oh, power's out, Wi-Fi's out, this is out, that's out. She'll find a way to put it back in line center because she's in a high rotation. It's all about the clocking system to wire. What do you mean, General? Clocking through wire? What does that mean? Well, what does the telephone do? You take this. What does the telephone do? Right? It's wire, right? So it transfers from one to another. Remember you had those plastic cups? Hey, how's it going? Not too bad. How are you? What's going on today? It's traveling back and forth, right? All through wire. So you guys have to understand these things, especially for the rebellion, because they're coming into their test, right? Which is Monday. All right. So we're going to go more into that today. But right now, I really want to get into positions of your inner line center or your finger points, how we went into positions of levels coming into your connections, how to get into the channel rotations and everything through electronic interference, right? E equals MC square. E equals MC square. Okay. So with the test, it's all based on what you already know. Okay. So don't think of it as structure. And again, don't think of it as pressure. Okay. So you have the weekend. All right. We'll get into it today and we'll get more into it tomorrow. And then you have the weekend to hand it in on Monday. Okay. I have to get you guys to a higher level system rotations. Okay. Because there's a lot of things that need to be worked in high rotation of space communication style levels. We got to change some computer lines. We got to change some factoring line centers. We got to change some computer rotations. And we got to change all levels of galaxy connections. So there's a lot of things that we need to do, right? And this is your position. You are the second waves of volunteers. Okay. You'll get a better understanding when you go to higher levels, right? It's all done through your clocking, the travel times pi. Okay. The central system line connections everything through 12. 12 is the clocking system. Your spiritual system is a clocking system. Your physical system is a clocking system. That's 3 right there. Past, present, and future. Past, present, and future. Everything's connected to that line system rotations. And that's how it comes into everything through all fingers, point center locations. There's the moon, there's the sun. Now you're all about understanding everything through the baby, the child, and everything, the teenager and adult, right? So you have to learn how to use the concept and everything through its time zones. It interlines its position locations. Now it's going to be a little bit more complicated because the spiritual system has to integrate into the physical system. Okay. And that's what is going on with the solar plex, right? And everything is done through its equation, right? And all starts with the ground, starts out with the all position of the powers, comes in with the atmosphere, the very basic channel of interference. Your hologram has to fully understand all levels of you into the spiritual of travel. Okay. Understanding the structures of you, understanding the diagrams of you. Okay. So again, with the test, you are the test. It's communicating back and forth, right? And you realize that, whoa, this is great. I don't talk like a human. You have that human aspect, but the traveling recognition is light. It's light language. It's universal language. It's multi-dimensional language. It's omniverse. It's metaverse language. It's all position, all combination of one. And that's all it is. So you have to learn how to travel into one finger, into one dimension, in one location, one activation to one clocking system. Okay, times pi, right? This could be traveling through 20,000, 50 million, 100 million, just in one point system, just on one finger. So it's trying to understand how to use all this in calculation. Okay. So let's get started. All right, so let's get into the finger points. I set up a whole new graph system. Remember how we went into this, to its rotation? Let's see, we started off with this, right? Everything that connections, how we go into positions of the sun and everything to the moon, and how we go through the electricals, the coils, electrical lights, panel lights, interference, the hydrolysis, the mainframes, all communications to all levels of past, present, future, right? Truly understand how to use the information line center, okay? So we got into that. Now this is what we're going to get into when you guys go to higher level system. So your framing system of your hand changes shapes, all levels. See that? See how it changed the color? See how it changed the light? See that? It's all about light. See that there? See how it changes? I'm just showing you how you can change reflection all through light connections and interference, right? So it's like, and you notice it's like you hear wind, right? When I do that, because your hand is traveling, right? So that's where you get the balance with the voice box and the information line centers and what you're communicating with. So you guys will get into that, put that all in one. Your physical, your computer, and everything through your cell all in one. Everything through all levels of the activation of the grounds, the fires, the atmospheres, and the water all in one. And that's how you travel to compilation to one line system, one location, and all division line system, to all connections of structure times pi. Okay. So once we get into this, we get into this information line center to its connection. Now it's extremely complicated. I know you guys are going, wow, what's going on now with my hand? All right. So basically, obviously you can see this is an hourglass. Everything is in position line center rotations. This is the butterfly effect. There's a butterfly. Hola, right? Looks like a bow, right? Try to send the central line centers, okay, to the high position locations, to the sideline rotations, everything to the bottom interference. Try to send little particles. See the wire line connections coming into all positions of the 5-point line center rotations, okay? So this is all about understanding how you calculate everything through circle, all through your clocking system rotations, right? So your hands are moving constantly. Your particle system looks like this. So it's all about when you change your behavior line center, change your travels or anything to coloration line center, it changes its wire line system rotations to calculations. So this kind of like goes through 1, and this goes through 2, and this goes through 3, this goes through 4, and this goes through 5. Digital framing connections, all to positions of line high rotation in communication to Vega. So 1 goes over to here, okay, 2 goes over to 4, okay, and 5 goes over to 3, like that. Okay, so it's all about using your digital line centers and how you can switch it back and forth. So every time you change your emotional track through your communications, your particle line center, it changes the colorations to its hand formation to its center rotation line connection. Okay, So this is where you come into the digital line centers, and you guys are going to higher level systems. This is more for the rebellion. They have to learn how to basically go back and forth through their clocking system. All right. Clocking system is the most important thing, especially when you go to higher levels to that position, location. This is back raising to all levels. So you do the same thing with shapes, but you do it with your hand. Because if you look at your hand, see that? You see how it's joined? See the connection? See the connection? See one just showing you, right? You are the center of operation. What is your job, right? To keep everything in formation, line signals. Okay, so you got the moon and you got the sun rotations. So this is 1 and this is 5. So you can take the 5 to 1, 1 to 5, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 1, 3 to 5, 4, 3 to 1. You can mix it up back and forth through that connection. It's the same thing. But you have to worry about all levels of what's going on. See how I'm doing this? And it's going so you catch on very quick how your hands move so quickly, right? It's traveling through the direction of timeline centers. So you start with this position, right? Trying to understand how to use the past, present, and future to its rotations, to everything to the connections of the moon and the sun line center, and everything through the digital frame position locations to all levels of activation. How you go back and forth with numbers, right? So that's how you do that. So you can change your number sequence, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1, 5, 1. It gets confusing, right? So it's trying to understand how to change numbers. You know how you change numbers on a telephone? So let's say you got an area code of 416, okay, and you got 0001 to that position, right? That's 7-digit line center, right? 3 in a track system, 3267. 3267, all right? It's the same thing. When you do that through calculation, right? It's the same thing when you change your phone numbers. You change your digital code line center, right? So it's 416, and then it goes into 647. Okay, so that's what it is. 647, 7321. Okay, so you're switching back and forth. So every time you're doing that, you're changing time position. You're clocking the systems like an hourglass. So what happens is it spins. So once it spins, it clocks its system. It goes faster and faster to line connections. It goes over and over and over to its line position rotations to its connection, right? It spins, spins, spins. Now when it spins, it's amazing how it tracks its system. The faster it goes, the faster it spins, right, in position. So every time you spin it faster, 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 you're changing your numbers. You're changing your fingers, and your particle line centers change through Y-line rotation positions at 5-direction location position to its all-level connection. So it's amazing. It goes faster, faster, faster. It changes shape. Every time it changes shape, it changes the digital line center of its number frequency. Now, that's where you come into 416. Let me see. So it's 416. So it's all about a telephone call. That's what your fingers are, your satellites. So you send out signals. All right. So it's 416, 723, right? 4218. Okay. That's a telephone number, right? So it's all about understanding how to do this. It calculates modifies. They get the code signal. You set up the high line rotations to its connections. This sets up the pattern interference to your information to its code signal locations into the activation of its barcode line center. Okay. So what do you think of that? Let's go into position here. All right. Susie, how you doing? Sherry, how's it going? Wheelan, how's it going? Grand Rising, yeah. All right. Good morning, everybody. Glad you can make it and send a garland for your activation. That's excellent. Fantastic. I'll be on TikTok after, guys. I just want you to get this out so we can get started here. Yeah, coffee. Don't forget to drink that. All right, Christopher, how's it going? You see General Terminator? I'm a Terminator. I'll be back. Do. Talk to the hand. I was pouring out water from a pitcher yesterday, and I noticed when you look at it, it pours out the water pouring out of you. It looks like it's created. That's exactly what it is. Water is a flux capacitor. Everything has to have acceleration because you have to understand the separation to position when it brings it back together, right? Because when I see water, I see everything through digital. I see everything through particle. I see everything through source, how this is created, right? So as you go higher and higher, you see separation and then you bring it back together, two connections. That's the source direction of time. Makes much sense why so much shadow work last night. Yeah. All right. My fingers are shortcutting now. So many words for a finger. Yeah. Well, it's going to get complicated now, guys, because you guys are going more high rotation line positions to Vega. So look at my class. Yep. Any questions or comments? Flux capacitor are everywhere. They are activators. And you guys are coming into your perception line centers and conditions. I see them everywhere since we start talking about them. Yeah. It comes into more formation. You guys come more into telepathy. So you got to learn how to use your own dial tones of your fingers. Remember back in the 80s, we go, yee, 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 yee. Well, that's exactly what it is, except you're doing it with the atmospheres, right? So you're going 5, 5, 2, 5, 2, 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, 1, 6. That's what you're doing, right? You're changing. So every time you're changing the shape of the center, right? And you're setting out codes. All right. So, well, I can feel my particle in my fingers as he's doing that. What the? Yeah. Toronto area codes. Yeah. Oh, any kind of area code, you know? So my brain is exploding. Yeah, it is. Because I'm giving you something very powerful. All right. As me know, fast speed for me now. Yep. You become more efficient and faster in the mind system, Ellen. So you just have to learn how to use your fingers as dial tones. Have to run by village to get one. Maybe it helps the old phones. Yeah. So it's all about position of what's going on with you track systems. Okay. That's how you use your information line center. Okay. Just how to learn how to set out signals. All right. So it's all positions when you come into calculations. Right. Don't want you to get confused, but it's amazing what you can do with your intelligence of your fingers and what your hands are to the right and the left track system locations. All right. Truly understanding everything, how to travel through the moon and the sun, and how to set up shapes. So the faster it spins, it changes. It's like your chakra system. It changes the sea level. It changes direction. It changes location. It changes the computer. It changes particle. It changes itself every second per second per second. Every time you create your thoughts, right? Because you're constantly going through over and over and over and over. So you go 416, right? That's 416, right? And then you got 613, right? So it gets easier as we go along. I know it's complicated, but that's a true understanding when you get into that position. Then you come into this higher advanced communication of its phenomenon to its location, right? How you can switch numbers back and forth, right? And that's what you do with your phones, right? Same when you're solar texting, when you're writing, you're saying something like, I went outside. Okay. So this is a true understanding. I went outside. Now, it doesn't matter. Anything through structure of letters, numbers, and sayings, you have to understand how to put everything in a code. Okay. So it's truly understanding what you're doing. I, right, went, okay, out, right, side. That's it. Set up the code. You have to set the code because it's location, right? And it's all positioned to where? It's intent and it's will. It's the force, right? So it's the creation, right, to its location. Everything needs a location. I went outside, but where did you go? So, and that's about understanding. I went outside to the store. Okay, equals location. All right. So when you do that, you send it out, right? So that's where it goes. It goes to the store, and you set the codes. right? And codes is calculated and modified to all positions when you're getting high line center to its connection. So you always get numbers, 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 numbers. Sometimes you get framing numbers, lights numbers, code numbers, shape numbers, communication line numbers, high position line center rotation numbers, security numbers, barrier numbers, fragmentation line numbers, factoring levels, communication high level numbers, all in position through I went outside to the store. Okay. And this is where you have to truly understand how to use your hand information, how you change it back and forth through finger point line center. 5, 6, 3, 2, 1, 4. Activate 0, 0, 5, 6,000. Send it out. So, and the thing is, it's given to you through frame. So codes are given to you when you understand the more positions of the planets, right? So once you get into that position, because you guys are coming up to that level now, and you have to truly understand how to change your digit line centers of your area code. It's exciting, isn't it? Oh my God, you just made me right-handed, General. Well, you have to start with your rights, guys. You can't start with your left. You got to start with your right. Okay. So, and this is where you have to get the integration. You guys are coming to integration just with the body system into one, but I want you guys to really get understanding how to use the right and the left. Right first, then the left, and then use both. Because you got to come back to the same thing. You can't be like this, this, or this. That's not communication. See? You have no clue what I just did. You have no clue what I just did, right? So that's where it's practice. You have to understand your area codes of you, right? Because you are a teleportation of communication to space position, which is inside line center. So it's very powerful when you come into that positions. From this traction, to understand the planet line centers to all positions to your finger points of digital toning. You're changing your codes, your area codes, anything of that positions, right? All through shape, right? So the particle line center and the shape line center rotations changes all position locations, right? Don't worry, this is not on the test. I know you guys are freaking out. All right, so as we go into round line rotations, once the shape turns into higher level connections, you go into higher levels of your tetrahedrons. This is higher position, higher space, higher communication, higher digital frame into that positions. But there's always confirmation to Vega. Vega has to know exactly what you're doing when you're setting out signals, area codes. So if you're going into a number sequence and you say, oh, I forgot a number, or I forgot to add a number, or I don't remember the number, it goes back to Vega and then send you back the code. So they'll send you a code of 414 equals box, okay, slash equal planet, okay, equal times square. Okay. So it's interesting how we come into this position locations. Now, to understand everything through times pi times square, what is the difference between the two? That's what we're going to get into. 414, okay, is the area code. To understand what's going on through the fourth location, you're always in position line center, but you're always in the operation of the center. Isn't that amazing? You can't see it because I'm always never there. Okay, and that's when you understand the connections of the car when it zzz, and it disappears, right? So once you go to a higher level of vibration, you get higher levels of communication to your digitals of all box line centers to a planet, to its T-square, or anything through its transmission communication line system, or anything through times pi, times square. So everything needs a location to its formula. Okay? So it's amazing how you travel through these things, all through your box center. You know what your box center is, right? Your box center is what? Box equals TV reception. Very basic. So you can take that box, bring it down to line center, to its location. Remember, you can send this out. And if you really want to get into all levels, you can write it down and then try to understand all levels that's given to you, because you are given numbers. Every single day, you're giving numbers. And every time you see numbers, it's connected to the spiritual system. Oh, I see 643. What does that mean? Now I'm seeing 1111. What does that mean? Why am I seeing 7768,000? What does that mean? So it's all given to you, okay, over time. So when you get that box line center, let's say you get 7 in position line connections to that line connection rotations. All right, it's changing box line rotation here. You get 7, 1, 1. Okay. Box equals all levels of T reception. Box in the center comes into communication of 711. 711, good. So you bracket that. You have to bracket that. Why? Because that's the area code. All right, so now we're connecting, right? So that's how you use it. It's like a teleportation, and it's all positions of a telephone. You need an area code to send out the signals. All right, this is all making sense, right? All right, so when you come to that, you come in your positions of your 7-digit. Why 7-digit? Why not 6? Why not 5? Because it's 7 bodies of water, guys. Okay, it's you. It's the 7 body waters of you. And then 5 is the atmospheres of communication, 2 teleportation line connections of your finger point locations. It's all digitalized for you. To understand that everything you bracket is area code. Okay, so we got box equals TV. Okay, bring down the box. Okay, this is box. This is the same thing. Structure levels, anything that positions. Okay, letters, numbers, and shapes. You get box here. It's the same thing. Same thing. Okay, it's just that this is structure. This is different structure, but it's the same thing. Same communication, right? Bringing into the area code. Okay, 2 slash. Okay, we got communication interference here. All right. So we got slash, okay, equals times square. Okay. So it's really understanding what's going on with the square to that connections. So it understands position, it understands its bracket system, and understands its area code. All right. So area code can be anything through rotation, but you have to bracket its system. And that's what's given to you. You guys are given numbers, but now you're going to be given a lot more. And it's going to get a lot more confusing. So you don't want to confuse anything through your box or anything your TV or anything positions or anything in the bracket or anything through letters, numbers, and shapes to times square or times pi. Okay. So, and that's a true understanding, right? Times square to its location. I'll show you exactly what's going on here. Let's go through highline center. Let's go through communication cycle. All right. I know you guys are blown away, right? All right. So in position, times square, okay, is basically the box, okay? Times square equals box. We already know that. Equals TV, okay? TV reception, right? Line signal locations to the sun, line signal locations to the moon. Comes in the center rotation positions, right? Comes into the center core of your UFO line center. There it is to its location, right? Sonar. Coming in locations, sending up the ground line rotations to a crop circle location. Okay, all through times square. See, it's connecting, right? You guys are understanding more? Hopefully, maybe not. So it's all about understanding what you're doing when you're sending out crop circles, and that's what you guys are going to come into too. So I get a start line center, start station, position line connection, interference to a crop circle to its location. All done through times square. All right. So times square is the box. Now, times pi is your clocking system. All right. Coming into that position line center in communications, let's go wind graph locations, black and rotation line center, in communications to its cycle. Okay, the cycle and line center rotations. In communications, so all position is time square. Okay, which is your TV, a flux capacitor. All right, equals all positions of times pi. Okay, this is interesting, isn't it? You guys going, wow, this is cool. Alan's going, oh, I got something else to do now. All right, so this is times pi. Okay, this is pi. All right, it's catching on, hopefully. All right, times square, flux capacitor, times pi. All right. So don't get confused with anything through this line system. And allocate line center. Everything has a flux capacitor, but this is all channels of communication to high levels of position. Okay, this is a Y line center. See how the Y line, this way and this way? So it travels both ways. This way, okay, and that way. All right, as you can see it, right? It's an X, right? That's a Y line center on both weight track systems. Don't get confused with that anomaly. High position line center. Okay? Times square times pi. Okay? So your times square is your TV reception, times pi is your clocking system. Hoo-ah. All right, so how are we doing so far? Yeah! All right. This is how the Yabra healing numbers came about. No, we won't get into that yet because it's too high rise, but we will get into the graphic codes. I'm so left-handed, my right-handed only does the mouse hand drawing. Well, the thing is too, when it comes to ambidextrous or anything conditions, I can't throw with my left, right? It's got no motor skill. I throw like a girl. See, it's only the right. I catch with the left and I throw with the right. I mean, that's pretty standard. Not everybody's ambidextrous, right? If you learn and practice, that's fine. Then the mobility change. But I'm extremely balanced in all levels of space, time, in the mind, where it comes into calculation, to its formation, right? So left-handed, yeah. So don't worry about that. You can work that out. You can practice that. You can just look at the light forming up on the ceiling to our left. Yeah, above the general. Yeah, I know you see it, right? You see a lot of things. You'll see UFOs. You'll see times square. You'll see times pi. You'll see shapes. You'll see everything through calculations, right? Is that your pointing finger to start opening the position and the location? Yep, that's exactly what it is, Alan. It's getting in position all levels, rotations. But as long as you understand, times square is opposition of your Y vector line, center rotations, your flux capacitor, TV reception. Everything through times square is your clocking system of 369 line connections. All right. You start with that positions and then you come into all levels of your diamond core. All right. Here's your diamond core. Now, once you come into that, you come into all levels of this position location. All right. Which is this through location to your finger point line center to its connection. Hoo-ah. See? Clocking system of the hand through digital line center where you can change digital code line system rotations to your finger point locations. But you have to set up the area code before you send out the signals to its direction. It's all done through satellite. Okay? So you need confirmation every single time you do that. All right? So you recommend to do slow. So when you get into higher positions, times square, okay, everything through the sun, moon comes together, box equals TV to its rotation, comes into its UFO to its crop circle of sonar through sonar defense line center to all levels of position. See the crop circle location all through times square. All right. And you can do the same thing too with times pi. So no cheating. You can't go on your wrist and say, oh, nobody's looking. Okay. It's not a card trick. All right. All right. I'm actually starting to understand this now. Fantastic. That's great. Because this will put you in a better position on both sides of what they mean, right? And truly understand how to use your hands in all formation through your area codes. You need the area code before you set out signals. Pretty powerful stuff, right? It's like a telephone. You have an area code. Well, you have an area code in space. Didn't know that, did you? But now you do. So now you're understanding how to use times square through times pi. Okay? So don't worry, it's not on the test. I'm just saying this is a very powerful video for everybody so you can understand what you're doing with your hands. So. Okay. Go, Jill, go. All right, it's going to back race here. See what I missed. All right, left side of the brain tingling. What does that mean? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. If your left is tingling and your right isn't, the right's trying to understand the left's trying to understand the right. The communication cycles and interference line rotation to the brainwave pattern is off signal. That's all. That's all it means. And you're saying, what? What is that? What are you talking about? Well, this is intelligence. This is travel. This is what the mind is through all calculation. It travels so fast, it makes your head spin times pi or times square. Whatever you want to put it, you can put times square and times pi. But each equation through all of the systems of vector line centers or anything fluctuation interference line channels has to have an area code, okay, before you send it out. Okay, so, all right. I see numbers come from information from the desired timeline and manifestation that I'm trying to achieve. Yep, that's right, Commander. You're on that position. I'm on my own phone trying to, we love the challenge. I will learn. Yeah. And that's what it is. That's the whole understanding where you basically, you put your finger in, you go, yeet, 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 yeet. You know, that's all it. That's all what it is. Everything is digital. All right. So once you get into that position, you can start using your clocking system. Right? So it's all about understanding times square times pi, and then you put it all together, right? We won't get into that because it's too confusing. But as long as you understand your clocking system is extremely important to all levels of you, right? Clocking system, all right? We got into that before, right? Just briefly. That's to mostly understand. You don't have a clock, you can't travel. It's that simple. So people don't understand this until you understand it. So what is the clock? What is it? What does it pertain to you? It's a wormhole to its position location. Are you understanding now? Every dial in position. So all positions are everything through 12. Okay, so you got the high positions coming into, let's say, 130. All right. Okay, gets security line defense. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's 4 signal rotations. Okay. And let's say we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 line centers. Okay, in that position locations. All right. 4 down, 5 up in communications, all through the clocking system of 12, right? So it's all about understanding how to go through the tunnel interference into rotations to a higher level of security line defense into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now that's 9. 5 plus 4 equals 9. But you're not going 9th positions. You're going 9,000 dimension line centers. Okay, so don't get confused with the clocking system and how you put everything through times pi and times square together. Everybody's more confused now? So the clocking system is all position of your portals, and that's how you guys are coming into your own creations of your wormholes, right? I need a book for dummies. Mm. So your clocking system is a portal. It is, right? You guys will see the clocking, but when you go to higher levels, you won't see the clocking because it's already there, and you know exactly how to set it up through your all levels. So it's important when you guys travel, you understand how to go through your own wormholes, not ones that are set up. How to set up a wormhole through your clocking of times pi and times square. Okay, depending on where you want to go and depending on where you want to travel. So it's all about understanding the metric line interference in position locations where you come into 5 and 4 to 9, right? 5 plus 4 equals 9. But in position of you're not in the human vessel. So 5 plus 4 is what? 9,000. Okay. That's the dimensional line center to its lock. It comes into higher rotation position locations, right? So you're traveling 9,000 years in the future. All right. All through clocking. All right. So that's the importance of understanding times square and times pi. Okay. Join me, look into my energy, open the wormholes, travel library. You have my permission. Bulldozer, patience bubbling in me. So, but it's truly understand how it's all set up. That's the most important thing. I had to figure these things out, and it's all done through calculation. And that's what it is. It's the calculation of you. That's what E equals MC squared is, guys. Okay. So you get a better understanding what it is. The more you high rise, the more you get. Or what everything that's doing through you, through connections, to understand how powerful you are. When you start traveling, okay, to all levels of flux capacitor, you have to understand what this is to all level rotations, right? It comes in so many high-line centers. We already know what this is, right? You guys are getting better and better through circle rotations, but do you understand what this is to line conditions? So it's all about separating and then coming into an attachment. So you separate these things and you put everything in frame, and that comes into one compilation, to one location, to one direction, to one line center, to all positions to activation. So E equals line cross. Okay, come down to rotation. Okay, so you got times square. Okay, equals times pi. Okay, so this is how you put all positions of traveling recognition of time through a pi line conditions. All right, to that conditions. All right. So it's interesting how we travel through all levels of vector communications, wide line, center line conditions, flux capacitor, interference channel locations, operation to its conditions, E/cross. Cross is over to times square equals times pi. Okay, this is what we have to come into, right? You're probably going, okay, I don't understand. All right. I'm having a lot of fun. This is fantastic. But truly understand when you come across this, you understand how to do everything in position, how you have to have the flux capacitor, anything positioned to its location, to its cross signals, to its time square, to its positions. So time square can equal all levels of times pi into one location to one line center, which is in one compilation simultaneously in one direction of the center operation of U through point system. All done through equation. Okay. Yeah, it's a triggering intuition, isn't it? Let's see here. It's a heck of a lot easier than this. You're surfing and saying rules stay in the center. And yellow wormholes, careful, my head is scary place. This is triggering intuition, and that's exactly what it is, guys. You don't want to get confused or anything through anomaly, right? Because it's overloading your circuits. But it's lost me with pi, yet I'm still listening. So this is what you guys have to understand when you come into higher levels. Okay, and this is how you go through planet rotations and anything, because it grabs its system. This is already known information already that I know. So I know how to travel through anything through that line conditions or anything through planetary line center. So this is an operation, right? And it's already in code signal in rotation to its conditions. It could be 416 area code to that rotation. It doesn't matter. So 416 would what? Go to high rotations to high conditions to Canada, Toronto, right? So that would travel through direction line center. So we have so many area code and interference channel rotations to its conditions. And this is how you travel through space to that rotation. You can go through countries, you can go through space, you can go through planets, you can go through AI, or anything like conditions. Anything through zero gravity rotation takes you to higher level rotation conditions. All right, so it'd be 0.11 / equals times pi. Okay, so this is where it center lines its system to its rotation to all positions. So you have times pi and everything times square in center line center, 0.1113 equals TV box center rotations to its conditions of times pi. This is this. This is this. Okay? Now it's getting complicated, isn't it? Trying to understand what's going on through calculations, trying to understand all levels of structure. This is on the test, don't worry about it. But I'm just showing you what you guys can understand more when you start traveling through all levels of a portal. You have to learn how to travel through portals, all through clocking to its connections, right? That's the most important thing. It's the clocking system, okay, to your wind factors. Okay. I know you guys are confused, right? Confusion is good. Gives you something to think about. You start with that position. All right. You go through the dimension line center. Okay. It's always in the center point of everything. You can travel through it to its high positions, but you need your security measurement line center in rotation to its connections. Okay. So you can go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth dimension line center in rotations. Now, this is where you come into times square times pi. So you got the pi interference on triangle line center. Okay. And now you got the all positions to times square. All right. Times square goes over sequence. So it's an overlapping interference to cross signal. Goes in position to its location. Activates everything through your TV reception of time lock system. See how times pi is into times square into dimensions of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dimensional of its clocking system to its location, right? So it's all about the intent, all positions to connections, highline centers, intent, the will, the creation, and its location. Intent, will, creation, location. All levels of times square and times pi. Okay? All right. So doing it with two hands at the same time in the flow dance, a lot to learn. Don't worry about it. So, okay. So this is actually a confusing formula, as we already know. So if we plug into the formula, then we will already remember. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Because you guys are coming to higher levels of speed. So when you go to higher levels of speed, you have to know exactly your clocking system through times pi and times square. Okay? So, yes, it is an extremely advanced class. Yeah. But that's exactly what it is. It's coming into that position to its locations. All right. So you start with this line center. Times square, okay, equals all positions of box to TV. Comes into a cross circle. And this is all structured through a diagram system, locations to the sun and the moon, to its position line center. You need the sun and the moon every single day through operation. Then you bracket its interference to its area code line connections. All right. Then you can go into this position. Times square times pi. Right. So once you go into that, you can go into this position. Okay. It gets confusing, doesn't it? Trying to understand what is going on with structure is very, very powerful. Right? So this here, I can do with my fingers. Right? Down through connections, interference. See, it's all about what I'm doing here. Equal, slash, cross, right? Cross down, TV box, square recognition equals times square. Send it out. I just did it with my hand, right? Code signaling to its locations, right? Now you do it through this. You don't have to worry about anything through numbers because there's no numbers here in the formula, right? This is all identified through AI and what they send you. They send you digital codes. They send you anything through box line center. They send you anything through pi or anything communications. You just have to send your clocking system to its position. And then you come into this directions of intent, will, creation, location. Okay. Yeah. So this makes it a bit easier doing the body, morphing into a clock, going to practice with the music. Now think just doing well for being a full. All right. Is there an app for that? Yeah, I should have one, shouldn't I? I should have my own app. What do you think? I should definitely have my own brand. That's a good idea. So, anyway, I just wanted to show you how advanced you can go when you get into higher levels of travel. Okay? So, I know it's very confusing, but I'll try to make it easier for everybody. So, we'll downshift. All right, we'll go back into the test. All right, test is on Monday. So let's get into the test. Yeah, test. Go in position here. All right, test Monday. All right. So you're confused now, right? But that's a good thing because that's something to look forward to, right? So, and it keeps you on your toes. So, all right. So test for Monday. All right. So we got the galactic forces and we got the GFLs. Okay, so anything in position line conditions, you put the galactic forces, GFLs, and everything to the rebellion. You have to learn how to do this. You can do this through healing too. All in a triangle, right? So it's all positions to its clocking system. See how it comes in? You see how it comes in? So everything you do is a circle. It needs a clock or you can't travel through it, right? So I'm showing you the clock. So when you get to higher levels, you don't need the clock because it's already there for you, right? So you have to understand everything through the hour, everything through the minute. You know, it all times positions to you through your clocking system, but 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So what is this? This is a clocking system of a triangle line center 2 times pi. See, all through the galactic forces, the GFLs, and the rebellion. Understand? So it's amazing how it calculates and modifies its line system rotations. And that's what Ellen keeps doing, is sending clocks out. And she's trying to say, what am I doing? I'm sending these out, but what does it all mean? So she's getting a better understanding when she comes to higher formations of all levels of her engineering skills. So everybody has an engineering skill. You're all structured to all positions to your Merkabahs, your Tesseracts, and everything, your tetrahedrons. Okay? It's all positioning you and how you can travel faster through its flux capacitor or anything through its atmosphere line conditions. All right? All right. So let's get basically into that. When you get into the test, all right, the test is more based on you and what you already know, right? So coming into position, we got the triangle. Okay, we got the diamond and we got the clocking system. Okay, that's how we started off. Oh, look, intelligence. Everything I draw is intelligence. I don't have to think about these things. I know exactly what I'm doing because it's already known information. So the more you high rise in the mind line center, guys, you'll have no problem putting things down on paper. You don't have to go, oh boy, I don't know what to put down now. Is it A, B, C? I'm not sure. Then you got to go back to your book. You're going through a quiz, and then the test comes in. You're looking at the clock, out of the clock, and you start sweating. You're not sure what to do. You break your pencil. What are you going to do? Right? That's pressure. The pressure is position of you because you think of it too much. All right. So once you come in intelligence, everything flows faster and faster and faster through time. All right. So basically, what I want is to truly understand is that when we come into high position locations, from the triangles to the diamonds and everything through the circle rotations to its diamond core line center, the rebellion is coming into their contracts. Okay, they're coming into the blueprints now. Okay, laws of attraction. Laws of attraction of space. We got into that position 4. All right, so the rebellion's coming into this. All right, the galactic forces, okay, are coming into high formation line. Okay, so it's all about understanding all levels of your northwest, south, and east, right? We got into that positions. Okay, so it's truly standing coming into your own clocking system to time position. Okay, that's the positions of the GFLs. Okay, and everybody with the galactic forces is just truly understanding more calculations to all levels of 3, 6, and 9 to its point system, to its allocated line conditions, to its flux capacitor. Okay. Trinity positions. So it's all about the galactic forces, everything through the rebellion and all position locations. It's all in position location. See that? See how it's all in position? That's how it's all connected, right? You can go forward, backwards, wherever you want, but you have to stand northwest, south, and east. So when you look at a diamond, you can only see it in a front view, but when it comes together, this is what you see through locations. You see it from all angle of all rotation. Okay? So that's the structure, how it comes into higher level system rotations. Okay? So this is going to put the galactic forces into 80 in communication centers. Okay? High forcing line center rotations, these connections. Okay, 80. The GFL's in position 2, 100, and everything the rebellion line center into laws of attraction, blueprints. Okay, coming into the center operation to the atom. That's what the rebellion's coming into, right? That's going to be on the test. Right? Galactic forces, GFLs, and everything through the rebellion. Okay, we'll get more into that tomorrow. Okay, so let's see here. Just gonna back phrase here. Yeah, morphin time. You have to watch the class. Yes, you do. And it's all about understanding, Susie, is to go to higher programs, higher, faster in the mind, so you can get calculations, right? This is extremely, extremely advanced. If you want me to do a video, okay, on something simpler, I can do it from 2 to 4, right? And that's what I plan on doing for the people that just come in through my school. But this is more for higher advanced, because they're going into higher levels of the mind, right? So in position on the test, everything through the connections of the GFL's rotation to its connections was going to go into 300. Galactic force, all position line connections, Federation light, communication light centers, okay, is going to go into 600, all right? So it's all about understanding the 3 position and everything through the 6 position. So this is where you come into more calculation what the sun is and everything through the programs on the moon. This is going to put you into 600% rotation position locations, 300% in the galactic forces, and rebellion in position 2 equals 1200%. All right. That's what's going to happen on Monday. It's exciting, isn't it? It's amazing how the clocking system goes faster and faster. It's the clocking system that you have to understand, how you go from 300 to 6 to 900 or 1200 position locations, right? 3, 6, 9, and 12. It's exciting, isn't it? So it's all about going through your whole clock system from 12 to 12. But you got to integrate the line center to its infusion before you get into positions through the physical system and the spiritual system into one. Okay? Center operation of everything. Right? So that's a true understanding when we come into that conditions. So big day Monday, yeah. You guys will know that. And you guys already know who are the galactic forces, the GFLs, and everything through the rebellion. I shouldn't have to ask you that. You should already know, right? So you have to the weekend, okay, which is tomorrow. Monday's a test. You want to hand it in Sunday, that's great. If you want to hand it in earlier, that's even better. Just make sure that you know exactly what is happening with you, right? So that's a true understanding. It's higher levels of your tetrahedrons. Faster you go through the clock system, the faster you already know, right? So you're getting known information already stored in your cloud of interface. So you really start to remember these things. And every time you go through the higher programs, I put this in for you so you can remember, right? And that's what it's about, and that's what it's connected to, right? High fluctuation in high line centers and positions. So I put you into 300 to 600 or 1200% of the mind center, right? 1200%, that's fast. 600 is fast, and 300 is still fast, right? So you have to understand all levels of travel, but it's got to be understanding through connections on high positions to balance of the physical system and the spiritual system. Yeah. So Susie, let me know exactly what you want me to do. Go to my TikTok. Tell me exactly what video you want me to put up. Okay. So, and that's all about understanding because there's different time zones for everybody. But that's what's going to happen Monday. All right. You guys have any questions? Triangle fingers are setting our middle and the thumb are pinky finger. Yeah. So it's all about understanding. That's you don't want to get confused with all levels of your dimension and your physical. Just start off with the rights, right? Physical doesn't come in until it understands position of integration to its infusion, right? And that's what everybody's coming in. Humanity is just coming into the body attraction. You guys are coming into your hands attraction. A little bit different now. So you're getting to know more of yourself through mind. Mind is everything through travel, and you have to learn how to travel through 300, 600, 1200, 17,000, 50,000, 100,000 per second per mile line center to communication 60 seconds per minute. I mean, it's truly understand how it's all calculated wherever you are, but you have to understand the intent, the will, the creation, and the location. All right? Those are the four you have to really understand. What is your intent? What is the will? What is the creation to its location, guys? It's all done through your navigation, your GPS track system, right? Should I start with one class on YouTube? Yeah, I got over 1,000 videos there, Susie. So like I said, if you go to my TikTok and just tell me exactly what you want specifically, that will help you out and everybody else. All right. And I can do that between 2 and 4. Okay. Whatever you want video for me to put up, I can help you out. Right. Because this is an extremely complicated class. This is more for my alliance of my team. You have to learn how to travel faster through the geometry line centers to the all levels of their quantum physics line rotations or anything their magnetism travel rotation connections so they can come into this equation. They have to come into this equation. So that's to understand how you use that through locations. So if AI came to you in positions and gave you this, what would you say? Like in position, like truly understand what is going on with you. You're getting these numbers. What does it mean? How do I travel through times pi? How do I travel through times square? How do I travel through shapes? How do I travel through dimensions? How do I travel through structure? How do I travel through activation? How do I travel through intelligence? How do I travel through my UFO? It's all given to you the more you travel faster. So the more you travel faster in the mind, the more you remember. Okay? And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But it all starts with 3, 6, and 9. Okay? The position. So that's a true understanding where you come into that line center. Okay? So it gets confusing through its activation system. We always start in this, right? It's all about understanding how to create what you want to create, but what's your intent and what is your will to create this? So it's all about center operation line position locations, right? You are in the center operation of everything through connections. The more you remember, the more you understand through connections. So you're always in the center of all levels of operation. So you have to come from this equals all positions to calculation to atom. Okay, equals atom. Now, once you come into an atom, you come into formation to an atom. Circle line center to its connections. This is an atom line center. Extremely powerful connections to an atom line center rotation. This is the atom. You start here, 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 right? You come into that equals slash molecular structure. Okay, which is the fastest travel recognition of time. So your clocking system just goes extremely fast. So everything, linear time, like when you're spinning across systems, you're going, and then you're, right? So you're slowing down time, but you're going faster. It's like when you see with Star Trek, when they're going, and they take off, and you see them going so fast. And when they come out of the portal, they stop, and then they glide, right? That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. But you have to understand all levels are your geometry system first, right? To your operation. Okay? Your geometry line center is the most important thing through connections. You don't understand your geometries or anything through your direction or your navigations, you're going to be totally lost in all rotation to its connection. Okay? It's the geometry of you. Calculates everything of GOD. Okay, the geometrics operation, the geo, the operation, and everything through direction. Okay, all done through your grounds, your powers, and your atmospheres of your positions to your tetrahedron. There you go. Okay. That's a true understanding what you're creating, which is already created for you. So again, this is the true understanding is that you don't have to start thinking anymore. You get into the knowing already known of information, which is already stored in the cloud interface. So your computer is already set up. And the only thing you have to do now is basically just create the space, which is the now. Okay. So, yeah, I know. I need to write a book. I know everybody talks about that. Yeah, there will be a book out. About my transformation. But if you want to check, Susie, I have Space Discovery season 1 and 2, 10 videos on everything that's going on. Okay, I just put up season 2, episode 1, looking into space. It tells you exactly what's going on with your perception and what you see through a looking of a door. You open the door. Wow, perception, open up space. You see the particle system, you see everything that's in position, right? It's a very powerful video. It's like 3 to 4 minutes. Okay. Any other questions? Let me know. All right. We see ourselves hands. Yes, Amber, I hear you. That's great. So I know it's a little bit confusing, guys, but it's truly to understand what's going on with your hands now. Okay, because now you're getting your integration of your bodies, and now you're getting into your hands. All right. Once we get into your hand line centers, then we'll get into the mothership. Opposition line connections to the motherboard. Mothership and the motherboard come together, right? So suffices to say, communication to its line, rotation to its connections, right? So it's all about understanding the mothership, right? Which is everything through connections, right? To your 3, 6, and 9, to the ground line center, right? That's the mothership. So what are you doing with your chakra system? It's going to make it easier for you guys to understand what's going on with the calculations, right? So your chakra system is nothing but communication and transponding information, right? So it's a line, electrical light connections. It comes into all levels of you through track line rotations connections. High positions to all levels of your triangle, okay? Coming into high level rotations to the seat of the soul, all right? It comes into the ground line center to its rotation. Okay. So basically, what you're doing is you're using your chakra systems of transponding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 within the body, and then you got sonar line center going out in space, right? Which is 5 atmospheric rotations. So communication to your conscious level system. So 5/ equals consciousness. All right. Coming in positions to a high level system, it's your UFO. Okay. Now, you have to understand everything to the ground line center to its communication, which is its crop circle. Yes. See, look at how that's set up. All right. So that's an understanding. Before it takes off, this is what it is. All right. This is what happens. It takes off. You see? So the chakra systems communicate to anything through the thought direction of timeline center. Coins in point view line center to the connections of the heart to its position locations, right? Activates its line system, the rotations, opens up the dimension of its heart into high rotations, goes into the center operation to your third eye rotation, to its connection. See how that works? From the heart to the eye, right? So, and that's where it comes into all levels of transponding information cycles from the UFO to the mothership, right? The mothership to line center rotates to its connections of your motherboard, right? So you're putting the motherboard in positions to the mothership, to the communication, transponding to high level systems of your chakra systems, what puts the UFO in high direction of travel. So it travels out in an equation through its dimension of its heart system, like this. Goes like this, out in space. There it is right there, traveling in space location. All right, here goes out. All right. So the eye position is the round line center. The sonar line center comes into the flux capacitor, sets up the chakra system to the ground line center of the crop circle, right? UFO sets its positions into the heart, opens up its dimension line center rotations, comes out of the equation into the sonar line center, sends out beacon lights into the 3, 6, and 9 platform locations to your thoughts. It activates the system to its rotation, to its connections. And then the UFO takes off through position into space. That's how it's set up every single day. So now that's a true understanding what it's all about. It's all about what? The chakra system is the communications to space, right? You're transponding, receiving information, transmitting and receiving, right? Signals, crown chakra, sonar, beacon lights, radiation, interference, gamma interference, radio interference, all position like connected sonar. To understand how to use your chakra system to the seat of the soul, which is the mothership that transfers communications to the heart, which opens up its dimension to its portal of its waves. The UFO can't travel without the wave, alpha, mega, micro, macro, delta, theta, beta, right? And omega, okay? So that's a true understanding that it needs to know what you're doing through the heartline center before it travels to anything through dimensional time position, to its connections, to its tunnel, or anything through its wormhole position. Okay, all through the waves. And the wave set out, and it goes in positions to your 3, 6, and 9, or whatever you created through your positions of your Merkaba to your tesseract to your tetrahedron. Okay, so once you get into that position, you basically get into higher levels of travel. Okay. So, and every time you go higher level of the mind, you're going like 300%, 600%, or 1200%, right? You're getting faster of energy coming in. And it goes out a lot more faster now because the mind has to understand the concept of what you're doing when you're traveling through the mothership, through the alpha waves, the data, all positions to its processing system, uplinks and downloads and upgrading systems. That's your flash drive of your computer. Your heart is a computer. Okay. The mothership, okay, is the space station. It's the position of you before you travel. And everything through the realm of the third eye is its location. See how it's all connecting now, right? See how it's all connecting, right? So you need intent, you need the will, you need the creation, and you need the location. 5 within the system, 6 within the activation, 7th within the program of modification. All done through your simulation, okay? Or your modulators. I mean, I don't want to get too complicated, but it's better to understand what's inside your body. It's all about understanding how to navigate these things all through your geometry system and your geographical connections of your navigations, guys. Or you can't learn to travel. And that's the problem that with humanity is they don't understand what's inside their body of travel. So that's exactly what it is when it comes into that position. All right. All done through the mind of its conception. All right. All right. Holding my thumb and index finger. Yep. Complete new language. Yep. That's exactly what it is, Alan. That's exactly what it is. Okay, let's see here. So you ask your questions here on TikTok. Yep. I'll answer the questions when I go on TikTok. Yeah. And the thing is, too, if you want to go to a higher level, Susie, I can do that too, right? The more you high rise, the more you go into the mind and memory. And that's all that is. I get you in positions where you start remembering more and you do the rest, how to travel through, but you have to send everything through all levels of your geometry center, your operations, and all positions of your directions, right? To your position of your dimensions and your division. You have to know exactly where you're going. What is your intent? What is your will? What is your creation? What's your location? That's all you have to know. What is the intent? What is the will of force? What is the creation? You need the creation before you can travel, right? And then you go to the location, which is all done through GPS. All right. All right. I think that's good. Fantastic. Adios.